Hello, my Mercurial mercenaries. Say hello, Perfect 10.
Hello, Perfect 10.
Today, my mercenaries, we are reviewing Together, as one by Dinosaur. First of all, just to place the time and place, and the time, mainly the time, not the place. Place is important, the time. There was some horrific stuff that went on again yesterday and today. But yesterday, my Perfect 10, in Barcelona, on a street that we've been on multiple occasions.
Up and down La Ramblas many, many times.
So it feels a little frivolous to mock or big up a non-jazz album. We'll talk about that later. Jazz hands, Eddie! Jazz hands! So sorry to anybody who knows anybody and all that, but it seems like an ongoing thing of everyone saying sorry to people all the time and stuff, doesn't it? Also, today, my Mercurial mercenaries, a legend left us. Bruce Forsyth.
Sir Bruce Forsyth.
Sir Bruce, and I think, now he's dead, hopefully no one's mocking him, but even when he was alive, people were very quick to mock this man, and it's got to be remembered, I think he started when he was like 16, and I always say that Bruce Forsyth was around before sliced bread, and that's not a joke, that's just a matter of fact. So no one in conversation with him could say anything about, what's the phrase about sliced bread?
The best thing since
The best thing since sliced bread, because he would just say,
I was the best thing before sliced bread.
yeah, I was the best thing before sliced bread, so fuck you and your best thing after sliced bread. Sir Bruce, the king of game shows.
Do you know what I really hope now? I really hope we get to watch the Generation Game on Challenge.
Thing is, do you know where I agree? Well, that'd be lovely. Oh, shut that door! That was Larry Grayson.
Yeah, only the Bruce Forsyth Generation Game with Rosemary Ford. Scores on the door with Rosemary Ford.
What's the scores on the doors, Miss Ford? And she used to have this massive hair, wasn't it? 80s hair. Did you remember that?
I thought you were going to say those massive high heels, but...
80s hair. Although she did have a face a little bit like a man.
Nice from afar, but far from nice.
Oh, no, she was all right. I shouldn't say that. She was all right. You wouldn't say no, would you? I don't know. Hang on. Did you know that they're bringing the Generation... what the hell's the... Yeah.
The Genuation Game.
They're bringing the Genuation Game back to British television on Saturday nights. And do you know who's going to present the Generation Game in its new incarnation? Guess. Guess.
Give me a clue.
It's someone who could present a television programme. There's two of them.
Is it Ant and Dec?
No. Ant and Dec do not grace BBC One.
No, that's
apart from
what
Biker
confused
Grove.
me.
What's he eating?
I think he's eating bacon and chicken. Raw bacon and chicken.
Get down, you naughty boy.
He is a naughty boy.
Naughty boy.
Very naughty boy.
Keep guessing. It's not Ant and Dec, because apart from Biker Grove, Ant and Dec would never grace the likes of British Broadcasting Corporation television.
But it's a duo, is it? A presenting duo?
Yes. The only current presenting duo that isn't Ant and Dec. I.e. not Little and Large, not the two Ronnies.
Well, not,
in fact, they're both dead.
In fact, they are both dead.
Little and Large are both alive, aren't they? Little's definitely alive. What happened to Large?
Don't know.
Come on.
I need another clue. I need another clue.
Glasses? Non-glasses?
Glasses, non-glasses.
Ooh! Ooh! Look at that. Ooh! Haven't you got nice buns? Ooh, you've got lovely buns. Oh, look at you. It's all innuendo.
Oh, melon soup.
Oh, look at your rolls. Oh,
melon soup.
That rolls doesn't work, does it? That doesn't work.
Is it melon soup?
It is melon soup.
Are they going to use words like moist? Because Sue Perkins says, that's the sort of thing she would say. They'd make them bake a sponge cake in like 3.5 minutes or whatever the particular round is, and then she'd say who had the most moist.
Who has? Oh, it's a lovely. It's a beautiful sponge cake. Which one of you are moist down below? And it'd be like, that doesn't make any sense.
That is a bit sick, isn't it?
Doesn't make any
really?
sense. So now we're going to have like couples brought on because it's a generation game. The thing is, when you think about a generation game, you just think about people doing stupid things like making cakes and throwing things around and stuff. But the generation game was called that because you would have two generations of one family.
Mother and son.
That was its unique learning point. It was it unique selling point.
Yes.
A, B.
And
A, B.
in the style of a club singer.
What's on the end of the stick, Vic? What's on the end of the stick, Vic? Come on, answer me. You don't know what I'm doing, do you?
I only know it's Reeves and Mortimer.
Nope.
What's on the end of the stick?
It was
Vic?
from Vickery's Big Night Out.
Yeah, not with you.
What's on the end of the stick, Vic? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I used
I'm
to
kind of
like
like
it. I'm not
shooting
sure.
stars onwards. That's it.
I forgot you weren't born when Vickery's Big Night Out was on. Did you know, my mercenaries? Earlier today, I put a harness on my cat I was hoping that I'd be able to take him out for a walk. So I put the harness on him, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't go well.
He
didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
He turned into a statue.
He turned into a statue of a cat with its tail between its legs, crouching backwards and pulling back on a lead.
Well, for a while there, because he, like you say, like we say, he turned into a statue. For a while there, I thought some Americans were going to come over, put like a rope around his neck and pull him down, pull him over, and then start kicking him in the face. But
thankfully,
it
hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened, so we kind of got away with it.
And he was mute the whole time that harness was on him, wasn't he? Mute.
It was quite nice having a mute cat. Was it a mute point though? No, that doesn't work. That's the wrong word. Holy shit, I'll be picked up on that one. Moot point is different to mute point, isn't it? Mute point is this. But a moot point is spelt differently as well. It's being pronounced differently. Do you know what? I nearly stood in a rather large pat then, which would have been picked up upon because I have some of the greatest viewers of a channel that ever existed. But they are finickety bastards. I'll tell you. Bastards they are.
Well, the joke was that you got thrown out of the pedant society because you couldn't agree where to put the apostrophe. You have to think about it for a minute.
I suppose it is a funny joke.
Write it down if it helps.
I suppose those sort of jokes are best left for the caravan. No one will get that. No one will get that. No one will get that. What are we doing? Right, sorry, my mercenaries. Apologies. Dinosaur Junior. What's it called? Dinosaur. Now,
together as one.
Together as one. Can I be honest, my mercenaries, and say that we may have, and I certainly have, I have listened to this album more than I've listened to any other album during this review and last year's review. I seem to have listened to this. This is called Hello, my Mercurial mercenaries. Welcome to episode 3 of the 2 Through review, where we're reviewing Dinosaur's album Together as One. And as I was just saying, I've listened to this album more than twice through. So I've cheated. I think I've listened to this 10 times through.
Said he's noisy.
8 times through. 10 times through. How many times have you listened to it through? Perfect 10.
3 or 4. 4.
Dinosaur, Together as One. Dinosaur, and this is just some from little bits and pieces that I picked up from Wikipedia, which I read a while back, and now I'm doing it from memory. Dinosaur, I think the main person in Dinosaur Dynasty. The main person in no need to mock them and call them Dynasty, they're definitely called Dinosaur, is Laura Jerd.
that so unfortunately rhymes with
Curd.
curd.
Lemon curd.
I bet she got called that at school.
What, Laura Curd?
Lemon curd.
Lemon curd! Oh, Christ, Laura, yes. Yes, it's not just Jerd, it's curd.
Although I suppose you could say she actually rhymes with Thora Hurd.
Thora Hurd. Do you know what? If Thora Hurd had been in a... Well, I was going to say a jazz band. The problem... Right, here, my mercenaries. Laura
Herein
Jerd
lies the problem.
is the main person in Dinosaur. And in fact, they started in 2010, and I think they were called the Laura Jerd Quartet. Until the rest of the band said, Laura, stop being such an egotistical prick. So they recently changed their name to Dinosaur, and they released this. It's their debut album, even though they started in 2010. Now, Laura describes their music as trumpet-led instrumental music. Trumpet-led instrumental music, not jazz. But, Perfect 10, I put it to you, I posit the notion, and I'm doing that with my hand, you can't see it, but I'm pretending that I'm like...
Gesticulating.
I'm gesticulating. Imagine Sue Perkins she'd have a field day with that one.
Yes.
I am gesticulating like I'm picturing myself kind of like with a wig, like I'm George Washington. Would you reckon he would have done that with his hand when he spoke?
Yes.
Because I once did a video on this channel where I was doing, I call it something like the mystery of George Washington. And I did it all in a very, like, Prince Charles voice, and I am George Washington. And after a while, I said, but of course, I apologise for the accent, because of course George Washington was speaking American accent. And then these pedantic bastards picked me up and said, no, George Washington would have spoken in an English accent.
Yes, he would.
Holy shit. What were we saying? That this is jazz. Don't start calling it something else. This is bloody jazz. This is a jazz album.
Yeah.
Have you got one of your jazz mags, Richie, have you? One of your rhythm magazines? The thing is, I used to read Rhythm magazine all the time. It's an actual magazine. It's a drumming magazine. Jazz! This is a jazz album. By no other name. No, by any other name. No, by no other name. What's the phrase? Because she's giving it another name. She's saying it's trumpet-led instrumental music.
It's jazz because jazz has so many different types. Jazz is just a genre, but within that...
Okay, Perfect 10. Seems you're such an expert on it. Explain what jazz is then.
Okay.
Do you want me to get your Dido album out?
Shut you.
Should we put your Dido album on your lap while you explain
Shut
this?
up, you. I can take you back to my A-level music theory lessons.
The field's open to you now. I'm lying back in the
And
chair.
jazz is pretty much the first thing you learn in terms of music theory. It's one of the earliest
Right, tell me what
pieces.
jazz is then.
Okay. From my very vague memory of music theory.
I don't want vague memories. I want an adequate... I'll take an adequate definition of jazz.
From my understanding of it...
Right, go on.
...is generally relies on certain chord sequences and...
Does it?
Well, not chord sequences.
I thought they were... I'm free, man. I'm free form, man.
No,
I don't subscribe to that, man. I'm into modes and I don't know what jazz is. I can't define it. That's why I want you to define it. I ain't got a clue.
I can't define it, but I can say that in terms of understanding music theory, jazz relies heavily on scales and like massively on scales.
How about the musicianship involved in jazz is fantastic across the board.
Because it is understood what key you're in, what scale you're using, what chord structures you're working within, that's what gives, if that's the parameter for the piece, then that's what gives every musician playing in that piece the freedom to play within any of that chord structure within any of that particular scale. That is what gives jazz the sound that you get.
There's a song on this album called Extinct, in which the keyboard player, organ player, plays a series of random notes, just like as if I put my arms like this. So now all my mercenaries, put your arms out in front of you, stretch your arms out in front of you, yeah? Now, turn your palms upwards, yeah? Now, bring your both palms towards yourself and touch your top of your shoulders with the tips of your fingers, yeah? So you've got two elbows outstretched in front of you.
Or just imagine that you're doing heads, shoulders, knees and toes, but just miss out the heads bit.
You're right, we'll do that. Now you've got both shoulders in front of you, yeah? Elbows in front of you, yeah? Now imagine the Rhodes piano or the organ, Hammond organ or whatever, is in front of you. And now just hit the keys like that. Just do that, right? That's the song called Extinct. At what point does that fit in with your modes, scales theory?
Even when jazz sounds like chaos, there is more going on than the chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that relies on having a knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of music, and like I say, of scales, of sound.
It does, because remember I told you the other day.
Just there.
Remember we listened to it the first time, and I said, "What the hell? What the hell is this guy doing?" Remember I said, "I'm only joking, really, because to sound like you're falling down the stairs with a piano, actually, you need to know all the rules.
Yeah,
you need to know
able
it.
to.
You have to play so well to be able to play like shit, unless you just can't play. In which case, the difference is, right, you can learn all musical theory to the point where you're a master, an absolute master, and in which case you can break the rules and sound completely chaotic, completely intentionally.
Yeah.
Or you cannot bother to do the 40 years learning. You can literally turn a keyboard on and just randomly hit the keys. And then you've bypassed all of the knowledge and stuff that everyone says that you need to be able to play chaotically. You can just play chaotically.
But you can't do that as a quartet or a band or a group or a duo or anything unless you all understand that sound that you are going to create, because then otherwise all you've got is just a cacophony of nonsense, and that isn't jazz, that isn't music, that's just sound.
Oh, I don't know. The freeform jazz guys would probably say that's still music. Do you know my favourite piece of like completely chaotic music is the theme tune to Bottom, played by the Bum Tones, the Duff Tones, the Bum Notes, which is a band that Ade Edmondson, who stars in Bottom, was in. And I've always loved that tune, and then I found out it's a cover.
Oh.
It's a cover. They didn't even write it for the programme. It's actually a really famous old blues tune, which I've now forgotten who did it, but it exists, and you can look it up, and it exists as a song. It's not the theme tune to Bottom. It's just a song, which is a disappointment. My Mercenaries, have you ever get that where you listen to what you think is an original song by a band and you fall in love with it, and then you find out later that it's just a cover? And that's not a problem in itself. It's just the fact that sometimes you can feel misled because no one said to you, by the way, this is a cover. And loads of bands have done it. They got really famous by playing. I don't remember. You know when Wet, Wet, Wet were at number one for ages with
I feel it in my fingers,
I feel it in my toes,
'cause love is
all around me, and so the feeling grows. Now, I don't remember
Yeah.
Them stopping Top of the Pops every week to say, everyone,
This is a
just bear in
cover.
mind, this is an old song by the Trogs. And when the Trogs sing it, because they're from Somerset, weren't they? And it's more like this. Sing it's Farmer. Ooh, love is
feel it
all
in my
around me.
fingers.
I feel it in my toes. Hey, listen to it. Love is all around me. I'll tell you what, I could put it on now.
Where's
We
your
haven't tried
farmer
this before.
from?
I can get a copyright strike.
Where's your farmer from?
Well, you sing it then. I'll find it.
No,
You sing it.
I'm all right for Somerset accents this week. But,
No.
you know,
You
I
do it.
I think your farmer's obviously travelled the globe.
I could get
What if we sing over it? Will that get you a copyright strike? Because it ain't going to get us a record deal. I know that.
I've got a band from Spain. They're not the Trogs. I spelled the Trogs wrong. The Trogs has got 2 G's, my mercenaries. Hang on. Here we go.
Do you know, I love the fact that Pussycat's joining in with us. Just being here. Oh, I have heard this.
Yeah. What do you mean you've heard it? We've just
I've heard this version. My fingers.
I feel it in my toes. Now you've got to sing it like a Somerset bloke. We're trying to get a copyright strike here. Love is all around me, and so the feeling grows.
You kind of got to, like, pull faces.
Sitting on the wind, it's everywhere as I goes. Oh yeah, yeah. Love, if you really loves me, come on and let it shows. Ooh. Come on. Oh. Loves you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. Do you know what the stupid thing is now? Honest to God. Because of that, they will now put an advert at the front of this video, and every time someone
Will
watches
it be
this...
an advert for, like, a Somerset cider brand?
No, it'll be an advert for probably some... I don't know what sort of adverts go on my songs, my things, but every time someone watches this video, the singer of the Trogs, I've forgotten his name, what's he called again? The UFO
Mr.
guy.
Trog?
No, he's into UFOs and shit. Dave. It doesn't matter what he's called, but every time someone listens to this podcast now, he will get 0.000017 pence. So really, he should be thanking.
Yeah.
Really, he should be thanking the band Dinosaur. Hang on.
For stimulating this conversation.
Hang on.
Which is different to this stimulating conversation.
No, we're going to sort this out.
True.
Reg Presley, singer of the Pop Trogs, the brother of Elvis Aaron Presley.
Brother of Elvis Aaron Presley.
Yes.
Who passed away 40 years ago this week.
Oh God, he did as well.
40 years.
Elvis Presley for me was always a historic figure, and yet he died when I won't say how old I was, but he died in my lifetime, not in your lifetime, but in my lifetime. But let's not forget that today is not about Elvis Presley. It's about Bruce Forsyth. It's about bloody Dinosaur. Now, when the first song of this Dinosaur album started, I've got to say I had high expectations because it sounded like a song off Dark Side of the Moon. The repetitive bass line going round and round and round. I don't know which song, but...
That's where we slightly differ, because I thought the first song on this album sounded like Merrily We Roll Along.
Which I don't know what that means.
Merrily we roll along.
What's that?
It's a song.
I've never heard of it.
Roll along, roll along. Did you
wait a minute.
Did you ever learn the recorder?
That's not
It's
Merrily.
a recorder song.
No. The song that goes dun 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 dun. That's not Merrily We Roll Along. Camptown Races.
Camptown Races.
Camptown Races.
Kemptown.
Right, Camptown Races. 5 tracks long. 5 miles long.
Doo-dah,
What the
doo-dah.
fuck are you singing?
No, it's not the same.
Sing what you're singing. Gonna sleep all night, gonna sleep all day. When the captain
No, but you know what?
Gonna do it my way.
Okay, that was because that was a song out of my recorder or clarinet book.
Holy shit!
Merrily we roll along.
Do you know what? Laura Jerd, Lemon Curd, is probably
Thora
listening to
Hurd.
this. Do you realise that Thora Hurd? I mean, how many reviews do you think are out there about for this album on the internet now? I reckon close to 0.
You think?
So, yeah. So I reckon there's a very good chance that Laura Jerd will listen to this podcast, and she's going to be mightily upset so far because all we've done is say that it sounds like Camptown Races.
Kemptown.
What do you mean Kemptown? It's Campertown, isn't it?
I thought it was Kemptown Races.
If you know I'm right. I'm always right about music. It's Camptown Races. It's Camptown Races. I would bet pouring this cup of coffee over my head that it's Camptown Races.
That's okay. I don't mind if you're right, and I'm not going to hold you to it because apart from anything else, you'll make a mess of the carpet. Which, yes.
Who's right? Who's wrong?
You're right.
Oh,
but
let's have this because this is recording. Let's have this said more vocally.
But
yeah,
I just want to point out that my knowledge and recollection of that tune is not, in fact, Camptown Races, but is the Squirrel Dray song for anyone who has ever, throughout their school years, had the pleasure of going to the Stubbington Study Centre in the New Forest, Hampshire, on a school residential trip, because that was the song for the Squirrel's Dray.
Well, there is a fact
At Stubbington we have great fun, doo-dah, doo-dah. Matron makes the showers hot, it really burns my bot.
What did the matron look like?
Oh, she was a right old hag.
Oh, okay, that's...
Yeah.
In Porky's... It doesn't matter about Porky's.
I can also sing you the Rabbit Warren song. That was the other dormitory.
Well, then,
They didn't.
why not? Don't say you can sing something if
Hurry
you
up,
can't sing
girls,
it.
the bell is ringing. Tidy that doorman, think of winning. Beds all straight and curtains swinging early in the morning.
Laura Jerd is not going to be happy. Right, so I liked the first song on this album, which I've heard like 10 times. I thought, do you know what? Let's just talk about this band again, right? Because what was I saying to you? I said to you that I think this band are extremely talented. They can play their instruments like they can play anything. They're the sort of band that you could imagine you just say anything to them and they could just say, oh, we can play that. We can play that. But my question, I suppose, is they maybe can play anything. And then we're talking here about Laura Jerd, Elliot Galvin. He's just called Elliot Galvin. He's not called all the stuttering that I associated with it. Connor Chaplin and Corey Dick. I'll say that again. Corey Dick. These guys, I think, and girl, the girl is the main player, the trumpet player and the songwriter. These people can play anything. They're supremely talented. When you listen to this album, the drummer can play. I'm so into drums, and his drumming is absolutely phenomenal. The bass player has moments where he shines on this album. Laura herself on the trumpet is superb. They can play anything. They know the rules. They can break the rules. They can play freeform jazz, or rather trumpet-led instrumental music. So let's boil this down to its essence, because like you said, there's no singing. It's hard to differentiate. Let's boil this down to its essence. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you like it, really?
I liked it. Well,
You didn't like it, did you?
I didn't dislike it.
What does that mean? I
well-
didn't dislike it. Right. I thought there were moments on this album that when they kept coming round, because I had it on repeat, I heard them and I liked them, mainly the bass lines. There were moments there that I thought were really good, but unfortunately for this album, my knowledge of jazz is so it's not limited. I've got went for a jazz spell, and I've got loads of jazz CDs now.
It was very, like you say, very free jazz.
But
it wasn't, the sort of bebop or nothing particularly. It wasn't.
My problem. I'll tell you what my main problem is that I've been listening to like Cannonball Adderley and John Coltrane and Miles Davis and stuff, and the problem this album had is that I'm comparing it to Kind of Blue, which is like a standard jazz album that everyone holds up in such high regard. But the fact is, it's really hard not to, because it's such an amazing album. And it's only in the same way as when people talk about rock music, they always hold up Led Zeppelin 4 or Dark Side of the Moon. And it's very easy to say, oh, yeah, look at you talking about jazz, you know nothing about it. Oh, look at you, Kind of Blue, Miles Davis. But it's only in the same way as someone will say Dark Side of the Moon is the greatest album of all time. And if you pick them up on it, which I've got people who listen to my channel, like Explosive Notes, who would say, Kind of Blue... they would say Dark Side of the Moon isn't the greatest album of all time. It's something by Cannibal Corpse or Slayer. And the fact is, sometimes an album is just so great, but it's all right for everyone to collectively hold it aloft and say, this is amazing. So my point being, I'm listening to this album and I'm thinking, I'd rather just listen to Kind of Blue. But then that's not fair, is it? Because if I listen to a brand new rock band today, and all my only criticism is
it's not Led Zeppelin,
I'd rather listen to Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
They would just all throw their instruments to the floor and say, well, fuck you then. Go and listen to bloody Appetite for Destruction. Go and live in the past, man. And they'd say man as well, because everyone says man these days, because they all think they're... do you know what? I'm listening to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard all the time at the moment.
Yeah.
And I would say that there's albums... I would say... What am I saying that for? I wouldn't say that. I would say... I've said it again. I would say that there's albums by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard that if they had been released 30 years ago would now be being held aloft as the greatest albums of all time. Non Again Infinity has the potential to one day be one of the greatest albums of all time. And did you know that King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard released a new album today, and I'm not listening to it because we're doing this. I could be listening to that now. What's Thora Hird got to say about that if she wasn't dead?
Yeah, without a doubt, all the musicians on this album are incredibly talented. I just don't know. It's not the style of jazz that.
It's quite good though, isn't it?
It is quite good.
It was easy. When we listened to it like the first time, it would have been very easy just to record a quick review then and just slag it off for fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But actually, now that I've listened to it like 10 times more, I've listened to it more than any other album recently. Honestly, I have. I quite like it, and it's just a shame that this whole review series might end up being like a brown, like a tea coloured kind of brown water of just me saying for every album, yeah, quite like it, quite like it. I think it comes to a point where I've either got to love something or hate something.
Well, and that's my point. Is I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it. It doesn't make me want to sit here and put it on again.
Nah.
And again, it's easy to listen to.
We listened to it because we had to listen to it.
There's like variation within it. Like the second track starts off quite organ heavy.
Yeah, like
and all I could think about was riding a waltzer. All I could think about was fairground.
Wurlitzer. Is that the name of that sort of organ sound? Yeah.
Well.
Oh, is it not? I don't know, actually. What is a Wurlitzer? You don't know? You mouthing I don't know at me?
Yeah.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. There's a certain Mr. Floyd out there who will tell me what a Wurlitzer is. We don't need to do anything like that. He's poised right now to tell us what a Wurlitzer is. And if you ever read my comment section, which you don't watch any of my videos, you'd see that my mercenaries, I call them mercenaries, my Mercurial mercenaries, yeah? And I read a lot of comment sections on YouTube videos, yeah? And most comment sections are a cesspit, an absolute cesspit. They should be exterminated off the face of the earth. But my comment sections and obviously this is tempting fate now, are full of intellectuals, total intellectuals, and evil white clown punk.
Intellectuals and what?
It's a joke at someone's expense. He'll love it. It's all right. He'll love it. Oh.
There was another track that went kind of the other way, where you've got the jazz sound, but then there's like a little bit. It almost sounded like electronic. It almost sounded like there was a game of Space Invaders going on inside the jazz.
That's
all
that.
I can describe it as.
Did you not like that?
Yeah. But for a minute, it sounds like someone's modem's accidentally like dialed into the track, and then you
modem for a while.
I know, but that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, modem,
Dong,
modem
dong,
or
dong,
not
dong.
modem? That be the question. 'Tis fair and noble of the heart and the peace of the mind to have love is all around me. It's everywhere's I goes. So, Dinosaur. All I want is you. What's it called?
Together as one.
Together as one. Dinosaur, together as one. If we outstretch, because we forgot to do this for the last one, so let's do it for this one. Put your hand out, my perfect 10. Put your thumb out so it's at, if you're looking at it from you, or point of view, it's at 9 o'clock. Yeah?
3 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
Yeah, okay, I'm using my other hand.
For fuck's sake.
Just saying, it's all about interpretation, isn't
Holy
it?
shit. I'm using my right hand, my mercenaries.
See?
Where are we putting it?
Just
Don't say out my ass.
That is about an assumption of common understanding, and
Now,
don't make assumptions that
no, don't
everybody's
start
with
that.
you.
Where are we putting it?
Well, I'm putting mine at 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to...
No, 9 o'clock. Start from 9 o'clock
Okay,
as you're looking at it.
right. So I'm at 9 o'clock.
Where are we putting it?
I'm probably going to stay at 9 o'clock.
Oh. We're not going to go any lower than 9 o'clock. We're not going to go down to 8 o'clock. We're going to stay at 9 o'clock.
Well, no, because to go down to 8, there's got to be something that I disliked about it. And I didn't, and I recognise the talent of the musicianship.
They were good musicians, weren't they?
That's it.
They were fantastic.
To play your instruments like that, I mean, Christ, I played in jazz band at school, but I got as far as one concert with Blue Moon, but the key was broken on my clarinet, and I couldn't hit the upper register, so it just sounded awful. And
You played in a jazz band?
I played in jazz band.
I've never played in a jazz band.
Mate, you haven't lived. I will add that the jazz band teacher then got suspended for having. Well, I'm not saying he did anything inappropriate with Clara in the instrument cupboard.
Can that go in the? Can we use that?
Yep.
Cool.
Because I'm not going to mention that his name was Mr.
On that bomb. On that. No, I can't say on that bombshell anymore. On that. Oh, we can't. We should never talk about bombs anymore.
No.
It's bad.
You don't want to hear about the rest of my jazz band experience then?
No, I think
Is that a story best for the caravan?
that's a story best for the caravan. So, Dinosaur. What's it called?
Together, comma,
Together as one. Dinosaur, together as one, my mercenaries. Put your hand out in front of you, your right hand, thumb at 9 o'clock position, and leave it there. That's what we're giving Dinosaur. I say supremely confident musicians, some really quality
I don't know,
melodies.
you're talking this into a 10 o'clock.
No, there's no way it's going up to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's staying at 9 o'clock. And if the members of Dinosaur ever listen to this, can I just say that I held my arm out for you, and I'm still holding it out for you now. We're both doing it here. You can't see us, but we both got our arms outstretched. We don't really know how to end this now because we've just both got our arms outstretched with our thumbs outstretched. I think we should just say adios. What's Spanish for goodbye?
Adios.
Till next time, mercenaries. Say goodbye. Perfect 10.
Goodbye.
Over and out.
I played in jazz band.
That's cool.
It's why I feel like I ought to know more about
That was good.
what is jazz and what constitutes jazz. But when I learned, it really was about chord structures. It was drilled in about syncopated rhythms. Jazz relies a lot on the sense of rhythm and a sense of timing, and the syncopation within that is a real key feature of jazz. That isn't a key feature of a lot of other music genre. Coupled with chord sequences, scales, and once that's your parameters for the piece, you can be as free as you want within that, and that's what scat's all about. And
Scat?
scatting in music.
Holy
not
shit,
ska.
scatting is something else completely, isn't it? That's when you get all sexually turned on by excrement.
Scatological.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Scatological.
Scatological only means an obsession with feces, but
Yeah, people
if
love
you
it. They
want
smear it all around their
to
mouths
make
and
it
everything.
sexual, then
I thought it was. Look it up. Look it up. 'Cause
oh,
I'm
that's
the
right.
scat man.
I'll look up.
I'm the scat
I'll
man.
look up sexual fantasies on my phone. Yeah, that's on.
And
yeah.
you're shitting for no one but me, scat man. No?
Scatological.
Relating to or characterised by an interest in excrement and excretion. I had loads of friends like that at
Scat,
school.
improvised jazz singing in which the voice is used in imitation of an instrument.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just joking. Because there was the scat man, remember? The scat man Joe. What was he
Scat,
called?
droppings.
Evening, the
Especially
Scatman
those
Joe.
of-
I've been worried a long time ago. Ready to come from, ready to go, ready to go. I'm Scatman Joe. Remember that? He's going. Scat,
Deep-bodied silvery fish that lives inshore.
It's like vocal. Falling down the stairs with the vocals. Scatman. I'm not making it up. There was a song that did that in the 90s.
You were starting to sound like a modem.
No, there was a... No! Fucking modem. There was a song like that in the 90s. It was by the Scatman. Anyway, yeah, we already finished once, haven't we? Over and out.